The first passage that I've picked for presentation today is the one that begins with verse 30, wherein the Almighty tells us that He presented to the angels His plan, master plan of creating humans. So it says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة. And mention to them the occasion when your Lord said to the angels, I am going to create, I plan to create fil ard, on the earth, Khalifa, a Khalifa creature who is going to have freedom and control. قالوا أتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها. They responded in surprise. أتجعل فيها, are you going to create therein من يفسد فيها, those who are going to create mischief in it. ويسفك الدماء, and they're going to shed the blood of each other. ونحن نسبح بحمدك, while we declare your praise and sanctify you. ونقدس لك, and we make you, declare you as pure. قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون. He said, I know what you don't know. What impresses me about this particular passage is the fact that the Almighty, before He announced His plan before the angels, and the angels, normally we have this understanding about them, that they are just obedient followers of His commands. They say, they do what they have been asked to do. But what we find is that the angels are asking questions on a plan which the Almighty is declaring that He has decided to implement. It's a very important plan that the Almighty is presenting proudly. And yet, His declaration is met with a question, which in actual fact, if you look at it, it's a criticism. They are saying, angels are saying that we don't understand what you're doing, because the humans, the creatures, Khalifa, that you plan to send to the world, they're not going to perform well, and they're going to create mischief. The reason why they were led to have that understanding was that they could see that the Khalifa, the humans that the Almighty planned to send to the world, are going to have freedom, and nobody's going to stop them from doing what they would want to do. So they could imagine that this freedom is going to be misused. In response to what they said, what they asked the Almighty about, the Almighty did not say, how dare you ask this question? Why did you question my plan? Instead, He said, I know what you don't know. In other words, He said that you don't know the whole plan. You do not know the wisdom behind what I'm doing. So on the one hand, what we find is that the Almighty is telling us that if there is an important plan, project that He presents, it needs to be understood. And there's nothing wrong in asking questions. And the other thing that we are informed is that we humans or angels or anybody else other than the Almighty, we are unaware of the complete information about decision of the Almighty. And therefore, we are left with a questioning mind that is wondering why, after all, this scheme has been designed, has been presented. So the Almighty tells us that وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا, and God taught Adam names, all of them. ثم عرضهم على الملائكة. Then he presented those whose names were taught before the angels. فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء. And he asked them, tell me the names of these people. In kuntum sadiqin, if you're really truthful. If you are really truthful and correct in your assumption that what I'm going to create is going to be problematic, will not really be a good idea. Qalu, they said, Subhanaka, you are free from all errors, O God. La ilma lana, we've got no knowledge, illa ma'allamtana, except for what you have taught us. Innaka antal alimul hakim. Indeed, you are the one who knows everything and is wise. Qala ya Adam, he said, God said, O Adam, ambihum bi asma'ihim, let them know their names. Falamma amba'ahum bi asma'ihim, so then when they informed them, when Adam informed the angels, bi asma'ihim, uh, about the names of those humans who were presented to them. Qala alam aqul lakum, God said, did I not tell you? Inni alamu ghaibas samawati wal ard, that I know the hidden realities of the heavens and the earth. فَأَعْلَمُ مَا تُبْدُونَ وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْتُمُونَ. And I know what you reveal and what you have been concealing. So the uh, the underlying reality in this story is that the Almighty informed the angels that these humans who have been presented to you are the ones who are going to be sent to this world. The humans that were presented to the angels and their names were mentioned to them, uh, along with the details of what they're going to achieve. But the outstanding humans who will come up with feats that would be extremely impressive. And the idea was that, on the one hand, angels felt that the creation of humans would not be a great idea because they would be free to choose whatever they would want to. And as a consequence, they would choose to do things wrong. The Almighty presented, on the other hand, uh, humans to them who will use the same freedom for positive purposes. So, in other words, the Almighty informed the angels that your criticism, your questioning, uh, your skepticism about this plan is understandable, but you looked only at one side of the picture. You did not see on the other, or the other aspect of the plan, that the same freedom which you feared when it's going to be misused, and you were right to some extent that it's going to be misused, the same freedom is going to be positively used by some other humans. And that is exactly why I am creating them, to find out that this freedom that I'll provide them with, how exactly is it going to be used? So I find it fascinating because of many reasons, not least the fact that the Almighty wants us to question, He wants us to think, and He doesn't mind if His plan is temporarily questioned, criticized, uh, with good intentions. And the idea is that unless you understand properly, you will not be able to get along with following, accomplishing the task that the Almighty expects you to accomplish. He is the one who has given us intellect, and He wants us to utilize our intellect to the best of our abilities.